What's up everyone, it's Daniel with VintageMagic.com. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. So today's video is going to be about something I saw on YouTube the other day. It kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys heard of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And if you Googled that, he is a well-known author and kind of a spokesperson for finance in general. And he tells a really great story of, the story of two dads, essentially. One dad is essentially the dad who works hard all the time, but never really invests and he uses money to work for him. And, he gets his paycheck, but he buys items that really have no asset value, essentially. And then the other dad, the rich dad, is completely different. He allowed his money to work for him, and his assets actually produced money and produced wealth. So that kind of made me think about it while I was sorting some magic cards yesterday, and it reminded me of the parallel between assets and liability, and what that is in magic. And if you guys think about this very carefully, what we think of as assets actually sometimes are liability. Now let's take, for example, for a real world. If you look at your house or your car, your house actually you pay quite a bit of interest on. You have to do maintenance on it, you have to do repairs, just like your car. Your car goes down quite a bit, you have to pay interest on it, you have to do repairs. It's actually a liability. Now you might think to yourself, well, I have a car, that means I paid $50,000 for a car, that means I have a $50,000 asset. No, that's not how it works, because an asset is only worth as much as what someone will pay for it. And as you know, cars are depreciating assets. In a case of a house, people always say, well, no, houses always go up. And that's what they thought in 2008. But 2007, 2008, and then the crash hit for the recession. And you realize that maybe houses aren't really an asset unless they're actually producing rental income or cash flow for you. So you have to realize that kind of theory about assets and liability applies to Magic the Gathering investing. Now, for those of you who have commented before and said, well, Magic is a game, don't invest, blah, 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 just please hit unsubscribe, don't watch. Honestly, the troll comments don't do anything. All it's doing is, my videos are relatively about that kind of stuff. If you don't like it, just go ahead and play the game and enjoy it. I'm not saying, by the way, don't play the game, don't enjoy the game. I'm targeting people that like to invest and collect, and obviously we'll have old school Magic videos about that, but if it's not something that appeals to you, saying that Magic's not an investment is completely the poor dad mentality. And the main reason why is because Magic is an investment. It's something that when you buy a pack or you buy cards, you're hoping that your deck and your cards actually have some value, or you think of them as an asset. And that's the thing. You think of your collection, you think of your cards, they're assets to you. They're something that have value to you monetarily, and you could sell them and make money. Now, the difference here between an asset in Magic and a liability in Magic is the following scenario. I'll give you the biggest and easiest scenario is Modern Masters 2017. Modern Masters 2017 is not an asset. You're getting fooled if you think it's an asset. The reason why it's not an asset is because of the fact that it's not going to produce more money or have the opportunity to grow long term. Now, some of you guys are going to debate with me and say, well, Dan, I look at the EV, the value of the set, look at the cards, look at the prices of Liliana. They were like $100 before the Innistrad set. That's like a $100 card I'm getting for Modern Masters when I pull it. No. The thing is, all of the value, the EV, the expected value that you guys think of in Modern Masters 2017 are historical data from the past of Innistrad and other, when they came out. And then you have this kind of notion that, it's going to go back up to those historical highs. Wrong. That's not how it works in business. See, that's the problem. is that the housing market and life and stock market, things like that, people try to perceive the past too much, and they think that that's going to be like that in the future. And you got to look at the factor of what the current marketplace is and the consumer confidence. And that's the reason why I'm putting Modern Masters 2017 in that little bucket of liability. It's not an asset, because what's going to happen is Wizards is just going to print it over and over and over again. That means that your asset, your cards, are actually never going to grow in value because there's going to be a floodgate of more. So in business, when there's too much supply, simple business economics, and there's not enough demand, it's just going to go down. Prices will fall. And that's what Wizards wants. That's fine. They want people to play the game, I think, but they're slowly churning it out, making these kind of sets. But if you give it 10, 20 years from now, there's going to be so many Lilianas out there, so many damnations or whatever, it's inevitable the prices will go down, because the game is not going to grow double digits like it used to. It's impossible for it to grow like that. So that's the reason why I consider Modern Masters a true liability. Now, here's another definition of liability that I would consider that is not an asset, is that it produces no opportunity for you to grow your portfolio, or you're losing money equity that you could have used towards buying other deals. So in Modern Masters case, and I'm not talking about people that want to draft a box, that doesn't matter to me, okay? I'm talking about people that are investing, breaking the boxes up, holding the singles, investing in singles, speccing on them, whatever. And there's a lot of you guys. So if you're thinking that Modern Masters 2017 in this scenario is going to actually grow and have an opportunity to grow, you're completely wrong. And that's why it's more of a liability, because the money you could have spent in not investing in Modern Masters 2017 in something that has more of an asset in Magic, has opportunity to grow over time, that is a lost opportunity cost. I think of that as a liability itself. That is a warning sign for an investment in general. That's kind of the thing, is that it's kind of like cars, for example. You put as much money into it. You put $30,000 into a new car or a car, and you put your cool rims, you pimp out your tinted window, whatever. Kind of sounds like magic, right? You're pimping out and getting foils for your deck. You're getting Japanese, Russian, Chinese, sign, altar, whatever. Fine, it's cool to have it as a game and a luxury to play. But is it an asset to do that for newer cards? I would bet no. Because the true issue here is that when you have too many mass-produced cars, take like a Hyundai or like a Honda Civic, you have a wide supply of people that have them already. And to sell them, they're really easy. It's very liquid overall. But to gain in price, do you ever see a Honda or a Hyundai sell in an auction that's like a vintage car auction? Now, I'm not saying like the first Honda. I'm talking like in general. Really, do you see that? No. People do not invest or collect in Hondas. That's why you see Ferraris, old Mustangs, Corvettes, old cars which are restored and stuff sell for millions of dollars possibly. And that gets to my point about what an asset is. That's the whole thing. Is that for those of you who think that nostalgia is not in play and I'm just completely blowing smoke, ask the people who actually buy nostalgia, and they'll look at you and be like, well, that's true asset. That's a collectible to me. And ask yourself, do those people who have asset quality investments in Magic, do they look at you and be like, if you ask them and be like, hey, do you just want to, why don't you just sell your cards and make some money, make some profit? And they'll tell you, most people will tell you that that's because I don't want to sell them because I feel that they're going to go up in value over time. People that invest in Modern Masters 2017 are like, what? No, make some profit, right? That's cool. What are you talking about? Make some profit. Why would you hold that even longer? You've already made profit. Invest in more stuff, right? No, because vintage investment collectors and also artwork collectors, stuff like that, like the Lotus Petal, like if someone has a painting like this and you talk to them and say, hey, look, why don't you just sell it right now? Well, most people are going to be like, well, say, well, like that's a profit, right? Let's say you make 10 grand off it. The thing is though, the collector mind, the investor mind of the older Magic collectibles, where the asset quality investment are in Magic, they don't think like that. First off, they don't need to sell them. So that's the first point, is that if you're buying off your credit card or buying off credit and you don't even have the money, you're already out of luck. You're financing your home, right? And you really can't afford the home, you're gonna lose your money. The people that are collecting and investing like paintings like this and higher level investments, they are not borrowing the money. They are paying in cash. That's the trick, is that they have no debt in general in their personal life. They are leveraging cash. The second thing you have to realize is that in their eyes, there's a nostalgia and there's a kind of a long-term play that is very, very parallel to like high-end artwork, comic books, Transformers, old baseball cards, whatever. It's the feel good, but also that's a historical factor. And for those of you who don't understand what historical factor is in life, just go to like a famous museum like the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., or go to New York, go to some of the top end museums. You'll see like artifacts of our history. Now, to some of you guys, you'll be like, well, why is this like, this picture of, this guy named Andy Warhol? He did these, different variations of Marilyn Monroe and different famous figures of art. And he became one of the most famous pop culture artists in our time, or in the past. And you kind of think about like, why are these worth anything? The thing is, if you think about it, what Andy Warhol did, he was a revolutionary. He changed the landscape and opened our eyes into different parts of art that no one else did. And that is the trick. That is the secret of investing, is that if you own something that has historical provenance to it, that is important to something, anything, I'm not even talking about Magic here, anything, you have a value that is, you have an asset that is something that is worth more than that transcends anything out there. So that's what I would challenge you guys to think about today, is that when you buy something in Magic, or investing in Magic, think about the historical significance of what you're buying. Like an original box of Innistrad, I know it has like the Snapcaster Liliana. I personally think, as an investment, I think that's a solid buy, because it's the first box of the Snappy and the Liliana, and it has the foils and stuff, but it's the history of that set was arguably one of the best sets ever created in Magic. And that's the thing, is you think long term. They could do all the Modern Masters reprints, Masterpiece foils, whatever the heck they want. I don't care what they do. They'll probably do another version, a higher level of the Masterpiece, like a 101 version one day. I don't know. But that Innistrad box has a historical memory. Another box is like Urza's Saga. It's the great historical value of the Urza's block. It's a great memory. And that's why you see older vintage boxes and packs. For example, a Sealed Arabian Nights booster box. Have you ever seen one recently on sale? No, they don't show up because there's not that many available. Back to supply, right? And also, they are pure nostalgia for old school players, old school collectors, grading, people that love graded cards. They're just so rare and nostalgic. And also, here's the trick. The third thing that really stands out for Arabian Nights is that it was the first expansion set for Magic the Gathering. Now, for those of you who don't know what expansion set is, because they, changed it all over the course of years. Basically, there used to be core sets like Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, or Magic 2015 as a modern core set, or something like that, or Magic Origins, which is the last core set. Expansion sets were like the cards that were supplemental and had their own themes, and that was the first. The Arabian Nights was the first expansion set for Magic. So I want you guys to think about this. I said a lot here about assets and liability. I want you guys to think about what in your portfolio is your asset and what are your liabilities. And I would recommend to liquidate your liabilities ASAP. If they're not producing you an opportunity to make money in your portfolio, I would sell them and buy into assets. Now you're probably asking me, what are assets, Daniel, what to buy? Message me below on the comments below. We can talk more. But I will have more videos on assets to buy and more liabilities. But let me just give you the hint. Liability are things that can be reprintable. That is a number one liability. Okay? Number one asset is something that has historical value, or it has significance to the game, and it has low print run. The original lotus petal painting. Who else has this? There's only one, right? You have complete control of the price, and the nostalgia play is huge. Tempest, an iconic Tempest card, played in Legacy and sometimes the Vintage. I mean, it's a great card, right? The thing is, though, you have complete control. All right, guys, have a good week. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.